All right, welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Conversations. This is our YouTube channel, and we're giving you, it's just YouTube exclusive here, our reactions to the 2026 Royal Rumble. It just ended about an hour ago, so this is still fresh on our minds. I'm Jeremy Dove, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, the legend himself, Mr. Tim Lewis. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome back. And yeah, man, quite the event, wasn't it, Jeremy?
Yeah. There's a lot of different thoughts. We're going to get into the matches, but first I wanted to ask you, because we talked about it on our preview show, them going to Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. I saw a lot of empty seats.
Yeah, especially for SmackDown the night before too, last
Mm-hmm.
night. Yeah, so it was like some controversy as far as like the online ticket sales. Like I think they said they sold the tickets wrong, and then when people tried to buy them on resale on like the black market and stuff like that, like prices were even more expensive, you know what I'm saying, like basically like here, like over in Saudi Arabia, like ticket prices are a lot cheaper than the US and stuff. Black market and resale sites, they went up like a couple $100, so a lot of people they couldn't afford to make it to the Rumble and stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised because things can happen, but it's not the first time they've been to Saudi Arabia. So I'm
No.
just like, I was disappointed, building a whole new stadium and all that, and then it seemed like it did fill up more later in the night. But I mean, when the first event, the first match was the Women's Royal Rumble, it looked like it was hardly anyone in there.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell because they got them lights in the stands and stuff, if you can see. So, and plus it's dark, so I mean maybe they probably dimmed the arena on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Because during the Rumble match towards the end, like you could see it was like lit up. You see all, it was like more people in the stands, but
For the
you
men
know,
you're talking about.
yeah, for the men's, like the main
Yeah.
event, yeah, like it was more people, but you could tell like early on during the women's Rumble, which opened the show, like you could tell they dimmed the lights on the stands and stuff because maybe I don't, maybe it had a late crowd come in or they just didn't sell enough tickets, so
Yeah, it was different.
it was weird.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's get into the matches here. Let's start off with the women's Royal Rumble. And I want to know, what were your thoughts on how the match like progressed and your thoughts on how it ended up.
Overall, the match was pretty decent. I think this is a fairly good Rumble. Nothing like too over the top crazy as far as like expectations are concerned, but I thought it was a decent Rumble, especially for the women. It started off a little odd, given that they started with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, who, are a tag team. So they were trying to, like, I guess, build some tension between them. This is Mania season, so I don't know if that's the storyline they're going with, maybe building towards Charlotte versus Alexa or something. But they started out teaming at first, and then there was that awkward elimination towards the middle. But they had to get their groove, and I think once they got going, then it was off to the races. Then things started hitting. But it was a decent Rumble. And by the way, I just want to let you know that I called Tiffany Stratton coming back. Now she didn't win, but I called her
Mm.
coming back. You know, and she was one of my picks on who I think will win. But my pick on who I thought should win actually did, and that is Miss Liv Morgan.
But can you tell the people who did pick, not who should win, not Liv, who actually said Liv would win? Who do you
I
know
mean,
anyone who said that?
I mean, we were both right. We were both right on that.
We're both right. All I know is I said who will win is Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan, as far as I know, won 2026 Women's Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
but you
So
but you also said Jordan Grace should win, and I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting Jordan Grace to last a little bit longer, so I was like a bit surprised that she got eliminated early.
I was too.
I was actually expecting her to also break the record for most eliminations. Because I had a lot of expectations for Jordan Grace, but we'll see what happens there. I mean, she's still involved in a feud with Jade Cargill, so maybe her and Jade will probably cross paths, maybe at Elimination Chamber or something like that. On the road to WrestleMania, so we'll see. That'll be interesting. But you want to talk about impressive? Let's talk about Last Legend for a second.
Yeah.
She already impressed us at Survivor Series in the War Games match, and that was her first match on the main roster. What a way to make your debut on the main roster in front of a large audience. You know what I'm saying? Because NXT, it has a cult following, but nowhere near the audience that the WWE main roster has. So
Hmm.
especially on a big stage like Survivor Series, one of the big four. So yeah, she impressed there, and then to come back and then show out again at the Royal Rumble, the premier events, one of the premier events of the year. And I don't know, she didn't break the record for most eliminations, but I think if we were keeping score, she may have had the most eliminations in that match, I believe.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think she had 5 or 6,
I want to say maybe seven. I think close to maybe seven. It could
7
be
eliminations.
it could be six. It could be. I have to go back and watch again. But she definitely racked up not just elimination, but some big eliminations too. Like big ones too. Like she eliminated Charlotte Flair,
Huge.
both the Bella twins. Another thing, Brie Bella came back. That was a shock.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But
Yeah, both the Bella twins, Io Sky. You know what I'm saying? Like these ain't just some run of the mill, jobbers and none. These are some big names, you know.
no, no,
And
for
she and, she,
sure.
and she's even though she's been in NXT, she's still on the main roster considered a rookie. So these are impressive numbers for a rookie to be putting up. And she made it to the final six. So, hey, all praise Last Legend for having an impressive show in the Rumble.
Lash Legend is continuing to kill it. It was very reminiscent, honestly, of Bianca Belair in
Yes,
2020 at that Royal Rumble,
yes,
where it was like you knew who Bianca was if you followed NXT and stuff like that. She wasn't really a star on the main stage yet, but that was the coming out party and ain't looked back since. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to be honest, man. Lash Legend, so impressive of anyone today. I think she's the MVP of the whole event, men or women.
really.
She's my number one Lash Legend.
I mean, I knew she was like the MVP of the Women's Rumble, but you think the MVP of the whole event?
Who had a better night than her?
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that, man. I mean, she definitely had a big night. I mean, there were other people who definitely looked impressive too, but she definitely shined. I feel like the most.
She's number one. There's a couple other people who had some good nights,
Yes,
and we can get to them. But I think she's my number one. And honestly, I'm here to say it. I love Jade. I love Lash Legend. Lash to me looks more ready for the spotlight than Jade Cargill does. As far as the whole package,
yeah,
the whole package. Lash looks like she's ready to be women's champion right now. That's
yes,
how I'm impressed with her. Like she's the real deal.
yes. And I know there's been talk online, and people have been critical about Jade, not being ready, still not getting like the in ring quite a bit, and she has been involved in a few people getting injured while they were working with her. Not to say it's her fault. I mean, I don't know. Those happen at untelevised live events, so we don't know who's at fault and who's not. Plus, this is wrestling; accidents happen. Now, Jade, she has the look, she has the charisma. It's just still the wrestling skills she needs to work on. But like you said, Last Legend, she looks ready to go. She's a complete total package. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember how I said Bianca Belair looks like the total package, like everything you could want in like a wrestler, especially a female wrestler. Like Last Legend is like the second coming of Bianca Belair, and I
Hmm.
and I cannot wait till Bianca gets cleared. I was sad that the EST didn't come out, but I guess that finger injury must be worse than we thought. But I can't wait till Bianca gets cleared and we get that dream match with Lash and Bianca, because that will be, man, that's gonna be a
Well,
slobber
that's
knocker,
what I'm
man.
saying. I think it was feeling like Bianca and Jade. I think forget that. Yeah, I'm with you. Bianca and Lash
Yeah,
is the one I want to see.
yeah, yeah. I think Bianca and Jade, I think that's definitely gonna be box office too. But as far as like who can keep up with Bianca as far as in the ring, Lash 100%. And either one of those matches for Bianca will definitely be a main event worthy match for sure at Mania or any
And I
event.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, and Lash got the personality too. Lash has that. So I mean, it was impressive, man, and just a great mix of showing the force and the strength that she has. She's legit 6 foot, but I mean, even that back and forth with her and Raquel, that was like really impressive, man. Like I really liked Raquel showing her power because she's a powerful woman as well. But then our girl Lash overtook it, and it's like she kind of is doing what like Naya was, where Naya at the Royal Rumble was always like that force going to eliminate. She came in and is like just ahead, like, hey, if Naya doesn't work out, you got another person who can do that role too if you want. And Naya's doing really well too.
yeah.
I ain't
Well,
taking away from her, but she's just her versatility is just huge.
yeah, like And for her to come from the WNBA and pick up the business so quickly, and I know I mentioned she's been in NXT for a while, so she's had some years to kind of properly train and everything like that and get accustomed to it. But she picked it up fairly quick, you know, definitely faster than Jade. No disrespect or anything like that, but like Lash, you can tell, like we said, she's ready now. Like she's picked it up, like, and she just keeps getting better and better and better. And also, you mentioned Nia Jax, like Last Legend. Look who her tag team partner is. She's paired with
Hmm.
Nia Jax, and Nia Jax, whether some people admit it or not, like look what she did for Tiffany Stratton last year, putting her over. And who knows if Tiffany learned a thing or two from Nia. And I can only imagine that Lash is probably learning under Nia Jax as well. You know what I'm saying? And Nia Jax, her being, I guess, bigger than the other women, and Lash, being taller in size and scale than the other women too. Like she's probably learning from Nia on how to work, like a tall, big, imposing like heel and stuff like that. So I'm impressed, and I'm looking forward to seeing where she goes to next.
Me too. Me too. It was an impressive, and I'm hoping everything goes because she's box office for me. And there's people who I love to hear talk when they get the mic. There's people I love to watch work, and then there's that combo of both. And I'm wondering, I think she can have the total package. Honestly,
Right.
I
And also the fact that in real life she's engaged to Trick Williams. So the fact that she's able to stand on her own and she's not overshadowed by Trick, because Trick, he's super over right now too. So the fact that they're both able to stand on their own and not like overshadow or stand in each other's shadow, like that's also impressive too.
so we have to get to the winner, Liv Morgan. She's been building now for the past few years. Like she's up there, one of the top stars in the company, definitely one of the top ladies in the company. You look at her, she's up there with Becky and Rhea Ripley, Bianca. Like Liv Morgan has really carved out her own like niche, you can say. How do you feel about Liv winning like this Royal Rumble, like how it happened, how it went down, and do you think she's ready to take this mantle?
I think so. I know so. I know she's ready. She's definitely paid her dues, and she's been with the company for over 10 years now, over a decade. So yeah, I say she's more than ready. And the fact that she's been with WWE for so long and she's never even had a singles match at WrestleMania, so I think this is definitely time. Now, as far as like what the match looks like, I mean, obviously it looks like she may be going after Stephanie Vaquer for the world title, the women's world title, and Jade may end up facing somebody else. But yeah, I mean, and also the way how it went down, like she eliminated her own tag partner, Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, I liked it.
So yeah, that kind of spices things up.
Can't wait for Raw.
Man, must see TV. It adds a little friction with the Judgment Day, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Liv definitely deserves this. She earned it. She's been the runner-up. I think they mentioned like 2 times before she was
Hmm.
maybe in the top, but most times she was either in the top 4, top 3, most cases. So and she's competed every single Rumble since the Women's Rumble was created. You know what I'm saying? So for her to compete in all 9 Women's Rumbles and finally, on the ninth try, like come out on top. Like that's a big accomplishment, and so sky's the limit for Liv Morgan, man. So I can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait, man.
This is a great moment for her career, which has just been awesome to see grow. I tweeted that on our Twitter page at TLC Wrestling Pod. Like, congrats to her just to see where she's been going. Now, I think this is her year, though. I think this is going to be when we look back on the, dare I say, future Hall of Fame career of Liv Morgan. I think she will be a Hall of Famer. You heard it here. This is going to be a big part of that like highlight package was her winning this event, and I think this is the year she's going to get a WrestleMania moment. I really do think she's going to get that belt coming this April here. So I think it's just set up the way like Rhea kind of had that, like when she finally beat Charlotte at WrestleMania a few years ago. It's like this is her time, and she had that moment. I really think this is it for Liv Morgan, and I think she's ready to do what Alexa Bliss was doing pre-COVID, like pre-2020, and go even further.
Yeah,
Like she's gonna take it to that level. I can't wait to see it.
but yeah, man. I think at this point she's definitely eclipsed Alexa at this point. So yeah, and I feel like if she wasn't injured for most of last year, who knows where she would be at this point. You know what I'm saying? I feel like 2024, like Liv Morgan, like you could say that was her year too. In 2025, you know, still doing good work, but slowed down a little bit, and then the injury happened, so that kind of like stunted her growth, character wise and all that stuff like that. But and I said on the last show on our predictions episode that, what better way to get back in the swing of things and to build yourself back up than to win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania and go after the championship. Like that's probably the best way you can make an impact and get back into the fold. And Liv Morgan, she showed that tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm looking at going to the men's Royal Rumble right now. And, Roman won. Acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him.
This one was weird, though. I'm not gonna lie. I can say between the women's Rumble and the men, I preferred the women's over the men. The men started off weird, interesting, with what happened with your boy Braun Breaker there.
Yeah, interesting choice to start it off. I mean, the Rumble is known for having shocking moments, so I mean, no surprise here. But yeah, interesting having Braun Breaker, who was considered a favorite. And I know on SmackDown the night before, production had a little bit of technical difficulties. Prematurely spoiling his entry number. He was originally supposed to come in, I think, at number 1, and then they kind of like pivoted and made him number 2, and they had Obafemi coming in number 1, which wasn't really a bad move. Like looking at it, you know what I'm saying?
Great move.
Yeah. So especially for Obafemi, like good look, and I thought Obafemi was going to maybe potentially break the record and have the most eliminations. Didn't happen, but still, he looked impressive. He looked good out there. Great main roster debut. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but first, like with Braun though, are you shocked by?
Yeah, I'm
the
shocked.
fact that
Well,
like we thought he was someone who a lot of people were saying he's going to be the one to win it. He's going to be all these things. I thought he'd at least be the top final 3.
yeah, and he was my pick on who I think will win too. So
Mhm.
that caught me off guard. I was like, oh, he's
And
out. He's out first.
Who did I pick?
Will win?
Yeah, that's right. I just want the people to know who was 2 for 2. Who was 2 for 2 here? Your boy just. I keep telling the people you got to listen to me, man.
I picked Liv. I picked Liv though.
No, you didn't. You said who you think should win, not who will. I picked those. I called my shots on who will win.
Okay.
With Liv and OTC or our tribal chief. But yeah, I knew that too. I didn't text you because I'm like, Braun, that was Tim's pick here, and like, man,
Yeah.
did he last a minute? Officially, I don't think it was officially. It was like 30 seconds, probably.
Well, I know he didn't break Santino's record. I don't think anybody.
No.
I don't think anybody's breaking Santino's
He was
record.
close though. He was close.
Yeah, by a millisecond.
He was close now. Like he did not last long.
Yeah.
And it's a good shock.
Yeah.
Because it was a good swerve, but it threw me off there. Him getting jumped and then. Wow.
It makes sense because I mean, considering he already had a shot at the title against Punk, and he failed. So, and obviously we know Seth. I think he should be ready to go for WrestleMania. So that seems like the obvious choice for Mania. Braun versus Seth. I think that's the way they're going. And then of course bringing back the Mystery Man, which I don't know. I mean, Austin Theory's in the Vision now, but it's rumored that Theory may be working undercover, being Seth Rollins' eyes and ears. Because if you remember back in 2020, when Seth was the Monday Night Messiah, Austin Theory used to be, Seth Rollins' sidekick along with Buddy Murphy. So they have some history there. So that does kind of line up with what's going on. So maybe it was Austin Theory before he officially came out. He probably put the hood on and stuff like that and did Seth's bidding. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's a good swerve. Shocking too, but hey,
It was awesome to see. And then it kind of just went different. It became the Obafemi show.
Yeah.
After that. And I thought we were going to, I got it wrong. I thought the Braun Lesnar moment was going to happen. We had the Obafemi Lesnar moment here, but honestly, it took a little too long. There was like way too many stare downs.
Yeah.
I get the one time, but then I'm like, that takes 3 times to get to this. Like, it was just way too much here.
Yeah, and then it felt like kind of lopsided when they did eventually lock up. Like, okay, you got Brock kind of like make Oba look foolish in some ways. Like when Oba went for the clothesline, Brock ducked under. Oba got that one clothesline in, but then Brock basically dominated, hit his German suplexes, and then eventually eliminates Oba. I feel like that's not a shock, but if Oba had broke the record for most eliminations, I probably would be more okay with that. Or flip that and let Oba eliminate Brock. because right after Brock eliminated Oba, then you had Cody and LA Knight team up and they got Brock up out of there. I think it would have did more for Obafemi to eliminate Brock Lesnar because
Yeah,
we know a Brock Lesnar Obafemi match would be money either way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it would have did more for Obafemi to eliminate Brock or break the record. You know.
I didn't mind even Brock eliminating Oba, but
Hmm.
I'm with you on the fact that I know, like you said, Oba got like a little offense in,
Yeah,
but
just a
when
little
I
bit.
see those two like powerhouses, whether it's with the women or the men, it's supposed to be like dead even. Like it's supposed to be like boom. It didn't help. It just seemed sloppy because, like you said, that was a moment Brock gets over Femi, but it was very quick that Brock gets eliminated, and you almost like the camera had to cut to it real quick. It was like, oh, there goes Brock, and then I'm not gonna lie, it was also weird. I know that's his thing. I know Jay Uso with the Yeets and like that's been doing it for a few years
Yeah,
now. That was just way too long.
yeah.
And then the fact that they ran it back, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me here, man.
Three times, three times. Like now, look. Now we talked about Survivor Series. I try to give him some sort of like benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
Mr. Positive. Yeah.
But this is one of those cases where I agree with you, where I think they overcooked it. Like, especially like he was yeeting, taking like the whole 90 seconds to get to the ring. And by the time he got to the ring, then the next entrant came out and Roman came out. And, thank God Roman, he kind of like lured him in and he shut that shit down. So,
Man,
but
you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
I think he kind of overcooked that just a little bit, cause
A lot of it.
yeah,
Because
yeah, a
I
lot.
feel like when Brock and Obi finally went at it, it was like during like his like entrance or like during one of his music, like they just cut to like Brock doing a suplex on
Yeah,
Obi after all this buildup of like just them two. And I got tired of them like they're having these stare downs and then it's like 10, 9, 8, and I'm like, just get to it, man.
yeah,
Let's go. Like I didn't like it. I
yeah.
wasn't feeling the men's Royal Rumble a lot.
Yeah, and when he ran it back while he's in the ring and he got on the ropes and was eating, I was like, somebody should just go ahead and just throw him out right now.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Because he looks easy pickings right now. Like, why does anybody just push him off the top rope or something? He looks easy pickings.
It was so annoying. It really was, and that kind of just was a distraction from like the event here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like, because I mean, it's got him over, but it is kind of overplayed. Like, I think he needs to do something else. Like, I think they had something when they were teasing and leaning towards more of like him going back to that right hand man, Jay, where he was more serious, more aggressive. I think they should have stuck with that, leaning towards that heel turn. So I don't know where they go with him after this. So we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah, he's in a weird spot here. Jay really is.
yeah,
I don't know if he's almost pigeonholed. And like to your point, he kind of has to do a complete 180 because this it's just kind of getting lame, and I think it was lame tonight seeing it. Well, don't get me wrong, I know the kids. I enjoy doing it sometimes,
yeah,
but it's just like man, like it to me was a real inconvenience in the whole match,
yeah.
just like Survivor Series.
Yeah, because it's like notice how they purposely point out, how Penta does that surfer walk and stuff. Like he wasn't doing that walk. He got straight to the ring. And Michael Cole even pointed out, he's like, no surf walk tonight. Like Penta's all business. That's what Jay should have been on. You know what I'm saying? He should have let leave the yeeting alone, get straight to the ring, get the business. Like it's the Royal Rumble. Like
Er,
he's
yeah,
talking about he wants to be world champion again, but he's not acting like it. Like I know it's all scripted and everything, but he's not acting like he wants to be champion again. Like he's too busy partying, eating with everybody and stuff like.
he at least I agree with you. He at least could have done like a compromise, come out the regular entrance and do it for a little bit and then run to the ring. Because honestly, this crowd in Saudi Arabia, like when Cody Rhodes came out, the music got cut. They kept singing like a lot of places do. I think they would have kept the yeet going themselves if like like
Hmm.
they wanted to. But it was just like this was just so annoying. I was disappointed in the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the men's rumble. I feel like there were definitely a good amount of missed opportunities for sure. So it was somehow, like I said, Obafemi looked impressive. LA Knight, his return, and everything like that. I heard they got something planned for him this year, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Because always like that bait and switch with LA Knight. You know what I'm saying? You think he's going to get it, and then they pull the rug from underneath him. So we'll see what happens. Also, we got the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys. How you feel about that coming from AEW?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It was good to see him.
Yeah,
I thought he did okay out there. You know, um, interested to see where he goes. I don't see him as main event kind of a guy.
not right now, not right now.
Yeah, not right now. I'm not. Yeah, it's too big and bold to say ever, but right now he seems like definitely there's a use for him.
Yeah,
He kind of has that Big E when Big E first got called up. You
I need
know,
five. Yep.
yep, he's like there where Big E was never like the number one guy, but Big E developed that personality and then he got the right people and took off. So I think like he kind of reminds me of that, where he's going to need some help to get that personality over. But if he can find it, look out for him. But he did okay in there tonight.
Yeah, impressive showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish they would have maybe had, like, like in TV, like, you want to see like an actor get like a good death. Like, I feel like they could have did better as far as like protecting him when he got eliminated, because him getting double teamed by the Vision and stuff like that, I feel like they kind of did him dirty a little bit. I don't know how you feel about that. I know the Vision, they're heels and they work as a pack, but I mean, how you feel about how he went out? You think they handled that properly? Or you think they did him dirty?
I didn't handle it properly.
Okay.
I was okay with it, honestly. Because to me, it still looks. It took two,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
still looks strong with that. Where it took
Yeah.
two of them to take him out.
That is a good point. You know what I'm saying? It took like not two, but three, like
Really, yeah.
three members of the Vision to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that shows you, like, hey, okay, they see how much of a threat he is. Like, we need three guys to take him out.
Hmm.
And of course, Obafemi, we talk about how impressive he looked. I think he had like maybe five eliminations, I believe.
Hmm.
I wish he broke the record, but still impressive. He lasted 39. So I'm just curious, like, where he and Hobbs, where they both land. Is Oba going to go to Raw? Is he going to go to SmackDown? Is Hobbs, aka Royce Keys, is he going to go to the main roster, or is he going to go to NXT after this? I mean, I don't know if you've seen him much in AEW,
I did.
but I feel like he could maybe develop more on like his mic skills, and I think NXT would be a good start for him if they wanted to put him there, especially considering that they just called up Trick, Oba, and Javon, three of their biggest heavy hitters, all at once. So I feel like
Yeah.
they need somebody to kind of lead the charge of NXT for a little bit, because
I
it can't.
feel like he'll go to NXT.
Yeah, because
I'll be surprised if he's called up.
it can't just be like dare I say his name, Joe Hendry or Ricky Saints. It can't just be them two. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they need some more heavy hitters to kind of help lead the charge of NXT and stuff. And I think he would fit in quite nicely, at least for like 6 months to a year, just to kind of help freshen up with his mic skills and stuff.
No, I agree. I agree. Real quick, I want to pivot back to the women's Royal Rumble. Just something that I saw that I'm like, sometimes that's where the trickery, we don't know what's real or not with it. But when Raquel Rodriguez eliminated Rhea right before Liv got Raquel, and she like threw her over and looked like her back hit like the side of the apron.
Yeah, that looked nasty. Yeah.
Right? I was like, ooh, did she look like she really got hurt on that one?
Well, she landed on the apron, right? Well,
Yeah, like it was like a like the where you put your feet at, like she like perfectly her back hit like that side and like boom, and like I know Rhea can sell well, but it looked like she was in pain. The refs were over her for a little bit. I'm like, but I don't know if it was just a sell job or not.
yeah, that's hard. I mean, because they always talk about how that ring apron is like the hardest part of the ring, because that's where the steel beam is at.
Right, right.
So it's like you land on that, you definitely gonna feel like it's no acting that out or trying to sell. Like, you really selling it for real. You really feel that. That's why I get nervous when they do spots on the apron, like when they do German suplexes or something, because you can get jacked up right there. So
Yeah, and I should have tried. I didn't. I kind of, usually you have the backstage like knowledge.
here we go. I knew it
I
was
didn't
coming.
say it. I was just saying. So I didn't look it up. But I was just wondering, like, do you think it was legit, like an injury there? Because it looked like that was like, ugh,
Well,
painful.
only way you'll know for sure if you see the referee put up the X. If you see him put this up, that means it's legit. It's legit injury. Which I
And I
was
don't think I saw that.
Yeah, so she should be good. I think she should be good. But they all after the matches, they always go back to the trainer's room. They get evaluated anyway, regardless if they're selling or not. Like, they always go to the trainer's room to get evaluated, for concussions or any other type of injury or something like that potentially. So, which I was surprised that Rey Mysterio was cleared for the Rumble because it came out he got injured in his match last Monday on Raw. So
Hmm.
I was surprised he's able to work. I guess must not have been that serious. So that's good for him. So hey, it's good to see Ray out there.
Absolutely, it was good. He had a great pop, great
Yeah,
ovation. There's a few people, like you said, in the women's, the Bellas got a great pop.
yeah. How you
That
feel
was
about
cool.
how you feel about the Bellas and stuff?
Yeah, it was great to see Brie Bella. Like honestly, to get that pop, it was nice for them.
Yeah,
I loved how they got eliminated. I love what Lash did.
oh, yeah,
That was cool to sell for the youngster.
yeah.
But I felt happy for Brie Bella in getting that big ovation. So as someone who people know, I'm not the biggest Bella Twins fan. I was happy for them today getting that ovation. It was good to see them out there.
Well, get ready to groan because you know what's going to happen next, right?
Them going for the tag team.
Yeah. I mean, that's assuming if I don't know what Bree's contract situation is, but I know Nikki said this will be like her final run, and I think in the past they both of them did express that now that the women's tag team titles are in place, they want to go after the tag titles, but it's
See,
inevitable. It's inevitable at this point.
see, that's just what's hard right here. See, I've had a good moment, and then you tell me that they're making a run at the tag team, and now that then went down to like wah wah. I was like, hey, it's a nice little moment for y'all, but I'm Bella. You had Total Divas. That's your thing here. Let these other now Natty Neihart. She can come back whenever she wants for me. I love Natty.
Oh yeah, Natty looked impressive, didn't she?
I thought so.
Like
I was.
I loved it. Didn't I tell you like because this was like a persona that she started in the Indies, like in GCW and
Hmm.
AAA. I'm glad that they're bringing it to the WWE main roster now. So this is a good look for Natty, man. So I'm looking
It
forward to it.
was. I think she's an amazing worker. We know that legendary. I want to see where that character goes more. Because I feel like she's so nice, like Canadian nice, that it's still hard. Even when she looks mad, it's like Natty's always happy. Like she's got that. So I want to see if she can kind of break through and kind of get there. Because I would love to see that really take off. Because you were right. You saw that they were trying to show a difference, whether it be attire with the name, everything. They were trying to show like this is a different Natalia Neihart. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, like this Natty, I can buy into being women's intercontinental champion, and going on a run with that and elevating that title and putting over, younger talent and stuff like
I
that.
would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to see her have the Intercontinental belt. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, and her family is synonymous with that title too.
Well, we know that, but Natty has been. I don't want to say she's not appreciated, because I think that she is. Like as far as like what her value to like teaching the women who are coming in up to the business, she gets appreciated there. But I think her in ring ability has not been fully appreciated by this company. So that's why I would love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope it does. I mean, it's a new year, so I hope she does get her just due. I mean, she was entrusted to get Ronda Rousey ready for her debut match in WWE, so that says a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they believe in her when it comes to that. They value her when it comes to that stuff.
Also, real quick, 'cause I know we're on the men's rumble, and I know we got to get to the finish and all that stuff, but real quick, how you feel about no AJ Lee for the rumble? Because it was speculated she was gonna make a return. Like, how you feel about that?
I feel fine,
Hmm.
honestly, because we got that like nostalgia thing with Brie Bella,
Hmm.
and like someone who it's like, okay, your time's done. I don't need to see you no more, but you came back for the Rumble. That's how AJ Lee is for me. Like you had your run. I don't even really need to see AJ Lee no more. To be
Well,
quite
I
honest,
mean, she
not
signed.
in the ring.
Okay. Well,
I know she signed, but
yeah.
like I don't. The less I see of her, as far as wrestling, the better I am. I'm not the biggest AJ Lee fan as a wrestler, as an artist and as a person. I like AJ Lee a lot, but like, yeah, I think we've just progressed so far, man.
She needs to get her.
Like
She just needs to get her reps in. I feel like she's only had 2 matches since she's been back.
we time has left certain people in the past when it comes to what the women's revolution has done in the past decade. There's some who have adapted. Like when Trish Stratus comes back, she does well, but Trish is just a legend,
Yeah. She.
Um,
Yeah. She's one of the goats, man.
but there's other people, the Bellas, AJ Lee. It's like your era was in the 2010s, 2010, 2015, a little bit after. Your time has passed. Be gone.
So
Be gone.
okay, you might be done with AJ in the ring, but do you think there's money in an AJ Lee Becky Lynch match at WrestleMania? Because I feel like that's the plan.
Do I think people will watch it and care? Yes. Will I care? No. No. I would not care
Mm.
one bit. And I'm interested to see. I guess Becky will make her look good, but I think that as a match, you really want to see that? You're excited about that?
The build up would be cool because they can both carry it on the mic as far as the build up, but I don't know how the match would look. Like they got pretty lucky in the mixed tag match because they had their husbands kind of carrying most of the match, but I don't know what a one-on-one match would look like, and she hasn't had a one-on-one match yet, so that would
And Becky's a
depend.
future Hall of Famer for sure. And Becky is, we gotta call her a legend. But of the 4 horse women, you know where I feel about Becky.
Yeah.
She's full. Not even 4, she's full. So it's like I don't know. Becky needs that right opponent for me to care. And AJ Lee ain't that. Becky doesn't have what Bianca has, what Rhea has, what some of these other ladies Liv Morgan, where they by themselves can carry it. I need that opponent for Becky for me to care.
Yeah.
And right now, AJ Lee.
Well, we know Becky can carry a match because look what she's done for Maxine Dupree. Like she made Maxine look good,
Did she?
For what it was. They had some entertaining matches, and
I think Maxine did well on her. Those matches were okay. That was like Maxine did okay on her own, but they weren't like whoa. And I'll be honest, as a fan who studies the game, I'm following Maxine. But did that make me be like, I'm a Maxine Dupree big fan now? No, not really. She's still like the same.
Mm.
And like same with Lyra, like that.
Not feeling Lyra either.
I like Lyra, but Becky didn't do anything more for her.
They had their match at Backlash was really good, and then everything after was kind of like so, and then the SummerSlam match was like a dud.
Big dud.
Yeah,
but
especially if you go back and watch Unreal and watching that replay when Lyra got out the zip tie. Oh, that was so bad. That was just so bad.
It was bad. It was bad.
But hey, learning experience though. Learning experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we gotta go. Before we get to the singles match, do you think it's the right move? We both, I called it. The OTC, Roman Reigns, winning it. Do you think it's the right move for him? For them, that's not him, but for the company, like having him win this.
I'm not mad at it. It's like, Roman, he's undeniably the guy right now, right? So it's funny that he wins this, and this comes right after he went on Pat McAfee's show, and he was saying how, he stepped away. He was giving the younger generation a chance to kind of step up. And, we're 2 years in now. I'm quoting him, paraphrasing a little bit, but we're 2 years in, and, we haven't advanced. They haven't advanced. WWE's still in the same spot. So he's basically challenging not just the locker room, but also creative to kind of step up the game creatively.
Mm.
So he's not. I know he's like kind of halfway in character, but he's not wrong if you think about it. He's not really wrong.
You're saying this?
Yeah.
Well, because to me, when I heard that McAfee interview, that's a shot at the company. You're right, but at your godfather, your hero, Cody Raheem Rhodes. He's talking about Cody Raheem Rhodes to me.
He was mainly talking about the younger guys, challenging them to step up. Cody Rhodes he's not a young guy who just walked in the door. He's been there.
Him saying we haven't advanced, and he was pretty much saying I have to come in and save it. Why can't Cody save it?
Cody's been carrying it on his back. He's been doing.
No, he ain't.
Cody's doing the best he can. All right, he's doing the.
You don't think a part of that was at Cody?
I mean,
that interview with Pat McAfee with Roman Reigns.
Like I said, he's halfway in kayfabe, halfway shooting, but we know they've been teasing like Roman and Cody going at it again. So I think I think that was part of it. I think that was all part of the act, kayfabe and stuff. I think that was kayfabe.
Okay. So that part was kayfabe. Other parts was real. Okay. Okay.
Cody's the main guy. He ain't talking about Cody for real. Like Cody's one of the top guys.
Cody is one of the top guys.
Yeah,
yes.
So it's more so just for the younger guys to kind of step up, and creative too, to kind of step the game up too.
Well, Cody's great as far as like I said before, he knows how to act the part of champion, be a great spokesman for WWE and the business, the legacy from his father. Cody's great for all that. He's carried that mantle very well. In the ring, has he been able to sell me as the top guy? No. And do I think he is the top guy? No. I think we saw the OTC acknowledge him and CM Punk. Those are the two top guys, in my opinion.
Well, CM Punk is the cover star of the new video game.
The fact that you debate Cody being over those two guys, if you want to say Cody over Seth, and I love Seth Rollins,
He's definitely over
that's
Seth. He's
that's
definitely over Seth.
different. Yeah, that's different. But the fact that you want to say the past 2 years, it's been not CM Punk, and I'll take Roman out of that because Roman's been part time ish since his WrestleMania 40 loss, in my opinion. But the fact that, like, to me, CM Punk's been the guy since he's come back.
Since he's come, I might give you a little bit of that, and also because CM Punk, because of who he is and what he's done before that, like 10 years ago, and even prior to that with the pipe bomb and everything, the rivalry of John Cena, all that. So I give you, like, he's more of like, I guess, an icon than Cody. Cody, he's just in the past 2, maybe 3 years, he just started reaching that upper echelon, that upper status, right? That main event status. So he's still got some ways to go. Even though he's been around the way for a minute, he's just now reaching those heights that Roman and Punk have. So I give you that. Like CM Punk, he's more of an icon, more recognizable. But Cody, he's just up there. If we talk about who's like the top guys, like to me, it's like they're all 1A, 1B, and 1C, you know.
Okay. Okay. Who do you think Roman's going to go for? Punk? Drew?
And this is tough. And I said I don't know if we talked about on air or if we talked about it off air, but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we don't know exactly what's going to happen going into Mania. Because if Cody was still champion, I would say he'd go after Cody. Just based on when you look at the closing moments from Survivor Series after War Games, and it wouldn't, I can get why he would choose Punk, but considering that him and Punk, they shook hands after War Games and they was cool, it seemed like, but Cody refused, Roman to help him up and stuff like that. And there was still that tension there. And Roman even said this the last time we team up. Like it seemed like they were signaling that okay, it's building to Roman Cody 3 at WrestleMania. But Cody's no longer the WWE champion. And Drew's champion. So it wouldn't really line up for for Roman to go after Drew, but I know they have history, but that wouldn't really make sense. I think the story would be Roman and Punk because they have history or at least recent history.
And I think they're going to have Cody and Drew. The thing is, I'm thinking that would be the match for Mania.
Cody and Drew?
Yeah.
I think
I think Elimination Chamber.
Cody and Drew at Elimination Chamber.
I think maybe. After what happened today.
Yeah, but remember the stipulation that Cody can't challenge Drew as long as he's a champion because he has to go to the back of the line. So that was the stipulation after the match, Drew. So
But with what Drew did today by eliminating him, there's always those defined print or something like that. Or Cody can win a match or Cody wins Elimination Chamber then?
I guess, yeah, because, whoever Roman picks, the winner of the chamber, they will face the other champion, right? So I think I see your point, and I can see Roman going after Punk just because there's history between those two there. There's still some unfinished business, even though they're cool, but this time it's more of like a professional rivalry as opposed to like something personal because now there's no Paul Heyman involved, right? Maybe I can see the Vision kind of meddling, getting involved there too, but it's more of like a professional rivalry more than just something personal like last year. Cody, I can see him still being involved with a WWE title picture with Drew, but they add Jacob Fatu, who was my pick on who I thought should have won. And Jacob, he's coming back red hot. He's got a lot of momentum. He looks like a main eventer now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just getting back in shape. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't lost a step either in the ring. I think he's ready. So I don't know if he's going to win, but he looks ready for the main event. So I think it's going to be a triple threat. Drew, Cody, and Jacob at Mania.
Okay. I need somebody to break through because if we get a Cody and Drew, like that is, and then Roman and Punk, there's no new blood at the top of the heap.
Yeah, it can't be just Cody and Drew. Roman and Punk is one thing because, at the end of the day, it's like, I know some people might have mixed reviews on it, but you got to sell tickets too, right? Punk and Roman, they're box office. and they had
The two biggest box office for the men.
and Cody too.
Mm.
You know, and Cody too. But those two are box office, and the fact they never had a one-on-one. Well, I think they faced one-on-one before, but that was like 2013, something like when Roman was still in the Shield.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it wasn't this.
Roman was a different guy back then. So now we got Punk, the best in the world, against the Tribal Chief. So now that's a box office. That's a WrestleMania main event right there.
Right, that's a main event.
Yeah. So now Drew and Cody, they faced each other multiple times within the last 4 months. So we can't. And after that, 3 stages of hell. Like, how are you going to top that? You got to add some new blood in there, like you said. So Jacob, I think he would fit right in. You know, they still haven't found out who attacked him. So there's that. You know, I think they're leading more towards Cody, and that's how that jumps off Cody's heel turn, which I think at this point is kind of needed. Like, you know, I'm not saying they need to change up Cody's character completely, but you know, seeing like a Cody heel turn, like that would be shocking.
It's needed now.
Yeah,
It's needed.
yeah,
The
yeah.
guy who you say is number one, it's needed for him to do this. Man, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Cody is not.
He can still be the guy and still be one of the
Look
top
at
guys.
it. There's no big time movie stars for him to main event with. So guess what? The first year that's not happening, he's out of it. He is out of it.
He's
And
not.
Punk and Roman are still there, but the first time there's no Rock to help him out. There's no John Cena to help him out. Cody gets to the the back of the line, the middle of the line though.
Well, keep in mind that he's still a threat to the world title. The fact that the WWE champion himself, after just working a grueling match earlier tonight, came and screwed him out of the Rumble, that says he's still a threat to the title, and that means he's still going to be involved. So don't count my man's out just yet.
I'm gonna count him.
But just keep in mind, like Roman, he was the number one guy, and he was a heel during like the peak Bloodline saga and stuff like that.
I'm not saying Cody can't be like Cody. Obviously, you're right. He needs something.
Yeah,
because it's been 2 years of boring.
And CM Punk, when he was like a heel WWE champion during that 434-day run, he was a heel and he was a top guy. You know, so I think Cody, he
it can be done. I'm just saying, new blood. Who's the first one they're removing? Cody Raheem Rhodes. That's all I got to say. But we go to the singles matches here. Gunther, AJ Styles. I thought it was a really good match, but we talk about it all the time. We'd be a broken record. AJ Styles can work with a broom. He's that talented, that great. He's a legend. I felt that it was really strangely done, though, once he lost. And, like, that moment in the ring, it just kind of felt like, did you really retire? Like, what are you doing here? And it seemed like, I don't know if, like, reality hit, and then maybe it was hard for him to, like, get out that ring that time. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, the match, but most importantly, the ending and what it means for AJ Styles?
Well, first off, to reiterate what you just said, great match. Of course, you know, it's AJ Styles, so of course that's no surprise to anybody. You know, AJ, he's going to put on a great match, and Gunther too. You know, those are two guys that rarely have a bad match. So, great job for both of those guys. As far as the ending and the finish, I actually like the finish better than the Cena finish last month.
Oh yeah, way
better. This is how Cena should have went out, passed out. You know that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you should. I think they must have heard our complaints. Like they was like, okay, they must have learned from their mistake from last month. I was like, okay,
they heard the world's complaints.
yes. So
they heard the world's complaints on that one.
So yes. Thank Triple H and them for listening and getting it right this time. But as far as like that moment in the ring, because usually when somebody retires, they, you know, leave their boots or whatever in the ring. Like we saw Undertaker leave his hat, his gloves, and the jacket in the ring. Thought he was going to retire at WrestleMania 33. We saw Triple H leave his boots in the ring at Mania. Cena just last month leaving his shoes and the wristbands and everything. You know, that was the end. And AJ, he was going to leave the gloves and then put them back on, like you said. And then it got me thinking to what he said in that promo on Raw, saying Gunther's trying to end his UE career. If he would have said he was done, he would have just said end his career, right? So it's like one of those things you got to read between the lines. And there's been like some rumors like, well, he may not be done, like done for real. Like he may, and I don't know what his contract situation looking like.
I was about to ask that, if you knew it.
Because there's been rumors saying, well, he might go to AEW, he might finish up there. And I know he has a lot of friends over there in AEW too, like a lot of people that he knows. But Also, he can go to TNA, which would also be poetic. I mean, considering it's poetic tonight because he debuted at the Royal Rumble. So it's almost 10 years to the day. So I think it's poetic that he did want to finish up his WWE career at the Rumble, the same event.
But
But
what would he? Where would this be a good career move to leave WWE and go to AEW or TNA? Do you? Help me see it. Where would this be like beneficial?
it's a head scratcher to me too, because I would have figured it would have been like a swerve. Because we talked about in the last episode, it might be a swerve, and he could finish up at Mania or something or SummerSlam if they want to drag it out that long. Because I wasn't expecting him to have like a full retirement year like Cena. He even said himself he didn't want to do like a full year.
Mm-mm.
I just thought like Rumble. I was like, okay, and then you hear about okay, he might want to go to AEW or TNA, and he did appear on TNA earlier this month. That first episode when they was on AMC that they premiered, he also appeared at Slammiversary, I believe, last year too. So I mean, it's nice that he's going back to his roots and stuff like that. But I just feel like going from WWE to TNA, no disrespect to TNA and anything, but I just feel like it's kind of odd. He wants to kind of go
Because
back and stuff.
I'm just like, show me the person. Like, John Moxley. Is it better? Edge. Is it better?
I mean, I mean, it's their choice, it's their decision. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I feel like those type of guys, they're wrestlers, so they're just in it for like the sport, the love of the game, where they just want to get out there and wrestle, basically. Like look at it like Vince Carter, right? who had been playing basketball for like what?
20 years,
Yeah,
20 something years.
20
Yeah.
something years. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in it for just the love of the game. He just wanted to get out there and play. So I look at it like that. Like they just in it for the love of the game, and it's like they don't care about the money because they're gonna make money regardless. But they just in it just because they want to wrestle. And they want to wrestle their style.
But I just think AJ Styles was getting used. Like,
Yeah,
it's a weird time because you look at his 2025, it's also pretty good 2025. You know, what he did with Dom, what he did with Cena. Like, it's just a weird time to leave ship, I guess. Like,
yeah,
if that's the case.
yeah. I would have thought this would have been better if like the match could have been the same and the finish could have been the same. But I feel like this would have been better served at WrestleMania. If they had dragged this out to WrestleMania,
Mhm.
I think that would have been better. Because then, okay, because remember we was talking about like, what's Gunther going to do after this, right? So that would have been a good, building block for Gunther. Give him something to do, and give AJ something to do going to Mania. Give AJ that final moment at Mania, his final WrestleMania moment. Give Gunther a big WrestleMania moment. Also redeem Gunther for last year, tapping out Jey Uso and putting over Sami Zayn the year before that. Because Gunther, I mean, at this point, he needs to win at Mania. Regardless of what he's doing, he needs a win at Mania this year. He lost 2 in a row. So I think that would have put Gunther over huge right there,
That would have been pretty big, yeah.
But either way, this does cement Gunther as the new legend killer / career killer, or whatever you want to call it. I know it's predictable, but it builds him up, it gives him more heat. You know what I'm saying? I low-key forgot he was working double duty because I was like, who's number 30 going to be in the Rumble? Because everybody thought, well, maybe it's going to be Jericho or something like that, but it was Gunther. So I was like, okay, it worked. It worked perfect. Got him some heat. He got the booze was there. Like he definitely has the heat, but I just feel like they could have better positioned us, put something else in that spot, and save this match for Mania. That's just me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. It'll be interesting to see what we see this week on Raw, SmackDown coming up. What's going to happen with AJ? If this really was his final WWE match, we will see. Then there was Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying Drew. I really am. I know we talked about it a little bit on the prediction show. I love that the opening, you saw him pull up in that Ram truck. It's just Drew's just embracing it. You know, he was on with Logan Paul talking noise and stuff like that. I'm really loving what they're doing with Drew. I want to see this continue. I want to see him have a good run here.
Yeah, and I peeped the Ram truck in the beginning too, like during like the AJ Gunther match. I was like, "What's that truck doing there?" I'm thinking like Stone Cold going to come out or something. I was like, okay," but I was like, then Drew came out, so I was like, "Okay, this is great." But yeah, Drew, you can tell he's having fun, he's enjoying himself, and he deserves this too, man. He earned this, man. He paid
He
his
did.
dues, and like I said, we talked about on the prediction show. This is like 50-50 booking. Like I feel like both guys, uh, really need this win. Drew, just because this is his first official title run in front of a live crowd, right? Because his first 3 runs, his last title reign, it was only 5 minutes. He got cashed in on. His first 2 title reigns were in the Thunderdome, during the
Yeah, it's
pandemic.
his first title defense in front of a crowd.
Yeah, so and then Sammy, just because, just to finally win the big one, get over that hump. He's been the ultimate underdog for so long, and he's been talking about winning the big one and always coming up short. And the fact that he just won in Montreal to become number one contender, and Saudi Arabia, because that Syrian background he has, is kind of like his second home almost. He's big in Saudi Arabia, so it's almost like he had the home field advantage again. So you could make a case that Sammy he could have came out on top, and it would make sense, right? But then we brought up WrestleMania next year is going to be in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh again. So I feel like that would be the bigger moment for him. They that is if the interest is still there. Assuming the interest is still there for him, we got that's a whole another year from now.
Can I say something here?
What's up?
As a guy who really enjoys Sami Zayn and enjoys when he gets these moments, like from when he beat Gunther, and then he that Raw, like was maybe like a little bit afterwards, that Raw in Montreal, and he went through the stadium, like great moments for the guy. Sammy and his relationship with Jey Uso was great, and him kind of getting the team together for that Survivor Series win a few years ago. That was awesome. I feel like that final match, that like street fight he had with Kevin Owens, he hasn't regrouped for me since.
Mm,
Like because he kind of Kevin Owens punked him to me in that match.
mm.
Like Sammy has some offense too, but Kevin Owens was the one who really stepped it up and had that psychotic look, and it looked good. And it made me, and I say that because to hearing the commentary throughout the week, and even the pre-show, and even like Wade on the commentary, it was like maybe Sammy has that, like he's been too nice, but I think he's finally got the oomph. And I think like that's kind of has hurt him, is he's lovable, but he's been too nice. And I felt like in that street fight, was a heck of a match. He kind of showed it. He don't have that dog in him, and I'm like, we're
Well,
lacking that from Sammy.
before we knew what was going on with KO, like he was set to face Randy Orton, so they needed KO to go over to kind of give him more heat to face Orton at Mania. So that was by design, I feel like.
But as we always say, there's a difference. It's not about the winning and the losing necessarily.
Hmm.
It's about how it's done. And I
Yeah.
felt like it was done where KO was just crazier than Sammy, but way crazier. And Sammy couldn't match his crazy. That doesn't mean you have to win, but there's been matches we've seen where the crazies met by both individuals.
I mean, that's when you look at KO and Sammy's rivalry, like that's typically how the rivalry's been like the past 10 years. Like Kevin Owens, he's always the more aggressive, more the loose cannon, and Sammy, he's like the happy-go-lucky, like nice guy, get the job done, good guy and stuff, right? I just feel that's always been like their rivalry, basically. That's always been their whole thing.
But I feel like that hurts him. Like I feel like there was no way he was going to win this match, and it does make me wonder how we're going to get there to him having that WrestleMania moment in Saudi Arabia. How are we going to get there?
Well, I was talking to a friend. I was texting him while I was watching the Rumble too, and he said maybe we don't wait till WrestleMania next year. Maybe they find a way to get Sammy back there. Maybe this is like um, something for him to overcome and make, because there's still Elimination Chamber. So maybe somehow Sammy, I, I don't know how he gets involved, but maybe he finds a way to get in the Elimination Chamber, and he qualifies, and maybe he wins, and he gets back that way.
You think Sammy going to win the Elimination Chamber?
If they don't want to wait till Mania, because that's a whole another year.
I'm just saying. Do you think Sammy's going to win the eliminate? Do you think it's a good chance he can win the Elimination Chamber?
It's a chance. If you want to insert, like, I know Sammy's not necessarily new blood, but as far as like if we're talking about in the main event of WrestleMania, in terms of like new blood for the main event of WrestleMania, like, and Sammy, he's only main event Mania like technically one time, but never for the world title. So this will be, I guess, something different, you know. I mean, because who knows if that fan interest is going to be the same next year going into WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole nother year of storytelling. Like it worked for Cody, you know what I'm saying, when he won the Rumble and lost to Roman at WrestleMania. Like it worked out for Cody, but it's hard for lightning to strike twice sometimes. So, you gotta be careful where you pick your spots. And it's like how many times we gonna say, Sami Zayn came up short, you know what I'm saying, and then still be motivated to see him win the title. You know what I'm saying? Like so I feel like while it's still fresh, you can still keep him involved in a way. I just feel like it's ways to get around that. They just gotta get creative with how they do that.
How'd you feel about the match between Drew and Sammy overall?
It was. I think they never really had a bad match. So I think it was a decent match. It was a good match.
I thought it was good. Yeah, it's decent. The worst of the matches to me was the men's Royal Rumble. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
think that was worse than both the singles competition and was worse than the women's Royal Rumble.
yeah. I mean, overall, I think the best match from the card was probably AJ and Gunther. Overall, I feel like the women's match better than the men's Rumble, but overall for the whole event, I think AJ and Gunther they stole the show. I feel like.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Considering the stakes involved and the emotions and all that stuff, AJ's last match in WWE, we'll see what happens at. But considering the stakes involved, like I feel like that was the better match overall. That stole the show.
I agree. I agree. To kind of like we're gonna wrap this up soon, but I said Lash Legend was the MVP of the night. You kind of were not sure, but
No, no.
like
I mean, as far as
no, I'm
like,
saying you were like you weren't sure. You were like she had a great night, but I think you came around.
yeah,
But I'm wondering who else qualifies for an MVP of the night for the Royal Rumble 2026.
I would say Obafemi, even though I know they could have did more with him, but he had an impressive showing early on, and that's how you introduce a new face to the main roster, especially for casual fans who probably don't know who he is, who probably don't watch NXT. Like that's how you introduce like a new face. I know some people may have reserves, like, oh well, he still got eliminated by Brock and all that stuff, but still, he looked dominant. He eliminated like five people consecutively in a row by himself. You know what I'm saying? He took out Braun Breaker, who's like one of the hottest bright young stars today. He took him out first. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big accomplishment, and who knows what's in store for him later. Whether he lands on Raw or SmackDown, the sky's the limit for him. So he's gonna have. I know it's like early to say, but I can see him have like a Gunther like push. When Gunther first arrived to the main roster and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think Obi qualified. I think Lash is still number one, but Obi's
Yes.
up there. I'll say Drew. I think Drew had a good night. I really do think he did. I think Gunther, to your point, had a really good night.
Yeah, and the final two is that too. He made it to the final two again.
Right.
Yeah.
Had a good night. And you know who I'll throw in there because we didn't mention her.
Mm.
Liv Morgan. I'm not going to say because I think that was like she won. It wasn't the most memorable, but it was a memorable moment that she won. So, but I think someone who I don't know. I know we talked about her off air. I don't know if we mentioned her on air. I think we did on the Cena episode, the Saturday Night Main Event. But Soul,
I was just thinking about that too, and then we got talking about other things. But yeah, Sol Ruka. Just I mentioned Last Legend stole the show in the women's rumble, but also there was another lady that stole the show, and that was Sol Ruka. Like man, wow.
Soul Ruka is just an athletic, just the best athlete on the women's division, no matter what NXT, SmackDown. She is just phenomenal at
Yes,
what she's able to do. And I'm
yes,
like, please work on your promo. Please work on this because we need you to get up here ASAP because she's going to give you amazing matches. She was doing some great work in the ring tonight.
yes, yes, man. Like the athleticism, energy, all that. It was just there. Like she's another one that's ready for the main roster. Like I get it. NXT they still need some people to kind of hold it down, and maybe she might get a shot at the NXT Women's Title. Who knows? But she's ready now. She's ready now. Like call her up immediately. Like right after Mania. As soon as WrestleMania is over, call her up that Raw after Mania. Like let's go. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? She's ready now, and also the fact that a lot of NXT representation in that women's rumble too. Like
Hmm.
I get it. Maybe they might have been short on women because there are a few people that are injured, like Bianca, she's out, Michin's out, and BFAB and a few other people. But a lot of representation from NXT. Lola Vice looked impressive. Kalani Jordan, she looked impressive. NXT Women's Champion JC James, she was out there. She looked impressive too. And of course, So Ruka, like NXT, he stole the show. I feel like outside of Last Legend, but NXT they stole the show overall, and I feel like in the Rumble,
No,
so
absolutely.
it lets you know the future is bright, especially in the women's division. And then also the women's tag division is really heating up too because you look at who's involved. Like you got Rhea and Io, you got Lash and Nia, you got the Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte and Alexa.
Well, we did have Charlotte and Alexa. I think that might have ended today.
I mean, it was an accident, but we'll see. Maybe at least, this is probably what you're talking about. Maybe this is the change that we need for Alexa Bliss, and it might lead to a turn because
We do
Charlotte,
need that.
because Charlotte looked devastated. She looked devastated, right? And she didn't even want to fight Alexa in the beginning because they both came in, they started the match. Alexa, she's had her eyes on singles gold. If you notice, like in the background, when they're backstage, she's watching Jade. Saying she has her eyes on Jade because she wants to be champion again, right? So I feel like it's going to lead to an Alexa Bliss heel turn, and we'll see. Maybe she goes back to that little Miss Bliss.
We need it. We need it. I would love it. I would love it because I loved Alexa Bliss pre the Fiend. She was maybe my favorite wrestler. So we need that, and I think it would be great to have that kind of energy in the women's division, which, like you said, is got a lot of rising talent, which is awesome. But if you give me an Alexa, because then Alexa pre-COVID Alexa versus the Liv Morgan now, that's box office to me.
Yeah,
I'd love to watch that.
absolutely.
That'd be really good.
And if it is going that way, I think that could still happen. It could still happen. I
You got
feel
to
like.
get Alexa over with the new personality.
Yeah, so baby steps. We got to take care of that first. But I feel like that could still happen. I feel like that would be a draw. Yeah, I think we already know they can both talk. You know what I'm saying? So
Which would be great.
the build up would be excellent. Just to see them exchange barbs and stuff like that, and then eventually go in the ring. Like, yeah, that'll be excellent, man. I can't wait for that.
Right. All right. So this has been fun, man. This 2026 Royal Rumble has been our way to debut our YouTube channel. We have, for those listening, our podcast that drops every other Thursday. That's on Spotify and Apple, so you can hear those episodes if you haven't heard them. And we got a lot of great things coming down the pipe. But this is also cool to have our YouTube, and we're still, you know, as we go figuring out what we're going to do with this, if we'll put some of the podcast episodes on here too. We know you're definitely going to get these kind of reaction shows to news or PLEs, or it could be a Raw or SmackDown. We're going to be coming on here and giving you that. But just stay tuned, man. Like, subscribe, tell your friends to follow us on here. Follow us on Apple and Spotify, Tables, Ladders, and Conversations. And Tim, I'm just hyped, man.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm excited. I'm just looking forward to what comes down the pipeline, man. So I'm excited, man. We're expanding.
We are. We are. So I want to thank you guys for watching Tables, Ladders, and Conversations. For my tag team partner, Mr. Tim Lewis, I'm Jeremy Dove. Peace.